It was
Oh, that's a
recorded
note
from the
taker. That's a note
beginning.
taker. That's just
Oh, I see. Okay.
no, it's fun. It's not really recording, but it's there. I hope neither our note takers are offended that I said they're not real. We'll find out soon enough. He'll say, host of the podcast claims I am not real. We'll see. We'll see. Anyhow, three,
God, I love it.
two, and one.
Welcome to the Audacious Living Podcast, hosted by my man, Audley Stevenson, the Odd Man.
Oh, greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Audacious Living Podcast, where our goal is to empower you to live your best audacious life ever. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and I truly appreciate you spending time out of your day to join us. In each episode, we dive into conversations that inspire and encourage you to shake off the limitations that life throws your way and embrace your inner strength. Today, we'll explore the importance of resilience, recognizing your own power in overcoming challenges, and taking life one step at a time, especially during those tough moments. Now, think of life as a marathon run on a winding and unpredictable trail. Along the way, you'll encounter steep hills, rocky paths, and unexpected obstacles that can easily make you feel weary. But just like any seasoned runner knows, it's not about sprinting to the finish line. It's rather about pacing yourself, putting one foot in front of the other, and trusting that each step moves you closer to your goal. Now, in our conversation today, we'll discuss how resilience is the fuel that keeps us going, especially when our journey gets tough. We'll also highlight how waiting for motivation can lead to stagnation, emphasizing that taking action, however small, is the key to any sort of progress. Our guest today exemplifies this spirit, having faced her own battle with breast cancer, turning her challenges into a source of inspiration for others. I'm thrilled to introduce our guest, Zulma Williams, also known as the swearing therapist. Zulma is a licensed clinical social worker with a passion for helping adults navigate the complexities of anxiety, depression, and trauma. Born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Zulma moved to the United States at 31 years of age, embarking on a transformative journey that led her to pursue her passion of therapy later in life. After overcoming breast cancer, she became a beacon of hope and resilience, empowering others to recognize their inner strength. Zulma's personal journey and professional expertise make her an incredibly relevant guest for today's episode. Her story of battling breast cancer and emerging stronger resonates deeply with our theme of resilience and overcoming challenges, and her insights into the power of action over motivation, as well as her advocacy for recognizing one's own strength, will undoubtedly inspire you to take the next step on your own journey. So now that we got the table set and we're ready to go, let's turn to our conversation with Zulma. Enjoy. Hey, Zulma, thank you for joining me here today on the Audacious Living Podcast. I appreciate you for taking the time to be here.
Absolutely. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's great. I thoroughly enjoy the opportunity to engage in dialogues that potentially can make a difference in other people's lives, and that's what really truly excites me. And we spend much time on this podcast really encouraging individuals to live their best audacious lives. And as you know, from time to time there are things that happen that might get in the way or impede that on our pathway of living. Things will pop up that will challenge us, that will frustrate us, that will cause us pain, all sorts of things. And the onus is on us is to continue to persevere, to push through, to get to the other side. As I oftentimes say, on the other side of adversity is all the greatness lies, but we can't get to that greatness till we push past the bad stuff. And so that's really our focus here, and really helping people understand that, and I encourage that inner audaciousness. I think it's very much in line with your work as a therapist, because you also support people that are going through challenges and help them overcome, and encourage resilience within them. So maybe as a starting point, I can invite you to introduce yourself to our audience, explain a little bit about the work that you do and what you've done to get you to the point that you're at now.
Absolutely. So my name is Zulma Williams. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I work with adults experiencing anxiety, depression, and trauma. And
Hmm.
how I got to be a therapist is quite an interesting story, in my opinion. I was born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I moved to the United States at age 31, and I think I was 42, and I was working in the accounting department of a corporation. And I started kind of like thinking about my future. I was like, I'm not sure I want to do this for another 25 years. And so I started school. I always had a passion for helping others. And I had people come to me telling me, like, oh, I never told this to anybody, right? And so I was like, okay, let me explore that a little more. And I graduated at 46 with a Bachelor of Social Work. And I was on track to do my master's and then start my internship and so on and so forth. And 6 weeks after I graduated with my bachelor's, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm.
Let's put a break on the plans. I think God had other plans for me. And clearly, I stopped my higher education to take care of my health. I moved back to Argentina to be close to my family. And at the beginning, the treatment was very intense. Like I had to go to the hospital every 3 weeks. But then, as I started to getting better, it was like once a month, and then once every 3 months, and then
Right.
once every 6 months. So after 3 years of uh, fully taking care of my health, I decided to come back to the United States and start my master's. So I started my master's at 50, and I graduated a year later. It was an advanced master's of social work. So I graduated in a year, and then I started my internship, and then I became fully licensed at 53 and a half, which allowed me to um, start my own agency and help the population that I mentioned at the beginning.
Hmm.
When I have clients telling me like, "Oh, I'm too old to go back to school," I'm like, "You're barking at the wrong tree." Like I just started my bachelor's at 42, my master's at 50, and English is not my first language. What's your excuse,
Right.
right? Like so, if anything, cancer came to show me how bad I wanted to be a therapist because nobody would have blamed me if I would have gone back to doing accounting and stop my higher education, right? But I was
Right.
like, no, I really want to do this. So not even cancer could stop me, if you would. It delayed
Right.
me, but I was like, okay, I'm feeling better. I continue with my treatment. My treatment didn't stop at 3 years, but I continue with my treatment, and I fulfill my dream of being a therapist. And here I am. Spoiler
Mm.
alert: I kicked
You
cancer's
made it.
ass, right? Like so, I made it. But this applies to any challenge that anybody is facing. It doesn't necessarily have to be cancer. I think that challenges come to show us how strong we are, how resilient we are, as you mentioned, and how bad do we want that we said that we want.
Got you. Yep. Well, exactly. I think it's beautiful. And so, first off, congratulations, Zuma, and such an accomplishment, and as well as securing higher education at the age that you did. And I think what you've done, which I think is so beautiful, is you've shown people what's possible. Right.
Right.
Oftentimes, when we're about, or maybe we're in the middle of something or about to face something, we don't think it's possible. But now what you've done is said, hey, I'm a living, breathing example of what can be done. And it's so easy to think that when you're going through something that no one in the world has any idea, any concept of what you're facing. And all of a sudden, here you go, well, look, I did it, right? And so that serves as an incredible inspiration, and as I'm sure you very well already know. It's funny because I was going to ask, how you're able to sort of how did you transform your cancer survival story into survival into such an inspiring story.
Thank you. Yes. So I want to remind you and all the listeners, you have 100% track record of being successful at overcoming your own challenges. I don't need to know what those challenges are, but do you know how I know? Because you're here. So whatever you've been going through could not take you out. And that applies for you, for the listeners, for me, for everybody, because when we are going through stuff, we don't know how we're gonna make it. Oh my God, like I cannot, I don't even know how I'm gonna deal with this. And yet, if you look back at your own life, you're like, oh shit, I've been through shit. And here I am. So let's not forget that, right? Like
Yes.
that's something that I would like to remind everybody who's listening. You have 100% track record of success
Yep.
of on all your challenges.
It's
And
about giving
again, it
ourselves
does.
credit, right, for that.
Absolutely, and a lot of times we are not giving ourselves enough credit for that. Like like I had to. No, no, no. That's okay. I understand that, but you did it. You are forgetting to give yourself credit. It's easy to give credit to other people, like to see like, oh my God, you are so inspiring. But it's like you're inspiring too, and all our listeners in their own way are inspiring too because no matter what you've been through, and you might be the only one who knows this, but you know what you've been through, and you know those conversations that you had with God, like how I'm gonna keep doing this. So I tell people when life gets hard, you take it one day at a time, and if
Great
one
advice.
day and if one day is too long, you take it 1 hour at a time. And if 1 hour is too long, you take it 15 minutes at a time. Can you push through for the next 15 minutes? Well, yeah, okay. So you just have to do that. Concentrate on the next 15 minutes. Four of those make 1 hour. 24 of those make 1 day. Seven of those make 1 week, right? Like, so I'm proud to say, and I'm happy to say, I'm 12 years cancer free. But how I achieved those 12 years was one treatment at a time, one appointment at a time, 1 day at a time. I didn't wake up one day and it was like 12 years cancer free. I had
Hmm.
to go for my treatments. I had to take my medication. I didn't skip any of my medical appointments.
Right.
And so I did my part. But if you would have told me like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 12 years, I wouldn't even know how to get there. But I got here by pushing through 1 day at a time. So
Hmm.
we all have our own stories that if we want to start, like we don't. Sometimes we think, oh well, no, you're going through so much. No, but I'm so happy to be able to share my story because I never know who's listening and who might be inspiring, right? Like so that's why I'm very open about my journey, and it is on my website for my practice. So it's like I'm very open with my clients because and transparent. Because if they might think like, oh well, if she did it, then I can do it too.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. I think that challenges, uh, trees don't bear fruit. They don't eat their own fruit, right? The fruit is for all of
Yes.
us.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that the challenges are not just for me, are for me to share with others so
I love it.
they can feel inspired, right?
I
Like
love
that
it.
if well if Zulma did it, I can do it too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm curious. I mean, we oftentimes learn so much from our challenges, and we certainly learn what resilience is through the challenges that we face. Was your cancer battle, did that teach you the most about resilience?
Yes. So at the beginning, when I first got the diagnosis, I was like, why me? Right? Like that was my first reaction. Why me? And then I started reflecting on why not me? I don't have children, but I have a mom, I have a sister, I have nieces, I have female friends. So w- would it have been? would I have preferred that instead of me, one of them got the cancer? And the answer
Mm,
is absolutely not, right? Like, so I changed the question from why me to why not me.
sure.
And then I made a decision that I can sit in the corner and cry about having cancer, or I can stand up and fight. And through making that choice that I'm going to fight, and I don't know if I'm going to be successful, but at least I'm going to give it a try. So
Love it.
I was like, and that's what I mean by doing my part. So I pray a lot, but I also did my part. I did go to my doctor's appointments, and I did my treatment, and I took my medication, right? Like, so we had to do our part. But our resilience comes from realizing that, okay, you do have a choice, because a lot of times we believe that, well, I don't have a choice. No, I could have chosen to sit in the corner and die,
Sure.
but I didn't, right?
Right,
So
right.
uh, to realize that once we make a choice, it's like, okay, we're gonna stand by that choice and keep pushing through, and we can change that decision at any point. But let's not forget that is what makes us resilient, right? Like, if we wish that life was a straight line from point A
Yep.
to point B.
Well,
Well, you know what? Yeah, but that's not reality, right? Like it's a lot of turns and curves, and it's a dirt road, and you don't know how you're gonna make it. But I think that the key to resilience is to keep pushing through.
right.
If you get if you get paralyzed by the challenge and you don't move, you're never gonna get anywhere.
That's right. That's
But
right.
if you keep pushing through, like just putting one foot in front of the other for now, because I cannot see where the destination is. But if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, eventually I'm gonna get there.
Got you. Got
So
you.
it's about not allow the challenge to paralyze you.
That's right. That's right. Because when you stop, then it's over.
Well, when you stop, exactly, when you stop, here you are, right? Like, I'm gonna come back in 5 years, and you're still gonna be here because
That's
you're
right.
not moving, right? Like,
That's
so
right.
in a lot of times we want that guarantee that, oh, if I'm doing this, it's gonna work out. Well, I didn't actually. One of the medications that I was taking for the breast cancer can cause cervical cancer. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you are helping me with one, but you can potentially create
Listen,
another one. And I had to take the chance, right? Like, because doctors, they usually tell you like the risk benefit, right? Like, if they prescribe something, it's because the benefit outweighs the risk. But
yes.
but if you start reading the potential side effects of the medications, it's like, okay, like I give up my treatment, right? Like, so. But the thing is, I I had no guarantee that this was going to
Mm,
work, but I did have a guarantee that if I didn't do anything, I was probably
right.
going to be dead in five
Right.
years,
Right.
right? Because, like, okay, yes, you pray. Like, no, I was praying, but who do you think that put the doctors on the medication for my treatment? God did, right?
Right.
Like, so God is like, okay, is the tools are there, but you have to pick up and use them, right? Like,
Got you.
I think that God guides our steps, but we had to stand up. God is not going to come here and pick me up and then push me.
No,
I
no.
had to stand up, and then He will guide my
That's right.
steps, right? Like,
That's
so
right.
it's about this teamwork, if you would,
Yep.
that
The onus is
I
on
had
us
to
to
do
still
my
take some.
part.
The onus on us to still take some form of action. We still have to do something.
Right,
Right.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And I get it. I get it. You one of the things that you do is you help individuals sort of uncover that inner warrior, that inner hero that they have inside of them, right? You encourage and inspire them to be able to do so. Um, how do you do that in people? How do you all of a sudden go from them not feeling that they have any power or worth or value to all of a sudden being this powerhouse, unstoppable hero?
I help them understand and give them self credit for everything that they've been through, and here they are, right? Like I go, like what I mentioned before, that no, you have 100% uh, success record of overcoming challenges, and then we start, and I don't even need to know what those challenges are, but once they start looking back at their own life, because we all go to trauma, none of us is exempt of trauma, but it's like, oh yeah, no, I did that, and I did feel depressed when I was going through that, and yet I kept pushing through, right? Like so, a lot of times it's a matter of reminding people who who to help them discover who they are that they might have forgotten, right? Because life does get in the way. But when I start asking clients to look back at their own life and their own achievements, and how they didn't give up, and although it was painful, they kept pushing through and moving forward. And it's like this challenge that you are going through is not different than that.
Right.
So it's like it's about tapping. The warrior didn't go anywhere, but we forget. So it's about tapping into, like, okay, you need to wake up and come help me with this, right? Like help me remember that yes, I am a warrior, because it's like I've been through a lot, and
Hmm.
here I am, right? Like so, I think a lot of times people use um, motivation as an excuse to not fulfill their dreams. Well, I'm not motivated. And I remind them that you have done shit all your life you were not motivated to do,
Right.
especially if you're a parent. Again, like, I don't have children, but I have my friends, all of them had children. You just pop a baby and you don't tell the baby, like, no, you know what, I'm not motivated because I'm hurting to change your diaper. You get up and you do it.
Right.
Or if you have a pet, you take care of your pet, right? Like you don't tell your dog, like, yeah, sorry, yeah, you're not gonna eat today because I'm not motivated. Or call your
Mhm.
boss, say, yeah, no, I'm not feeling motivated to go to work. You get up your ass and you go to work. So motivation to me is overrated. I tell my clients all the time, you just have to become Nike and just do it, right?
Mm.
By the time that you start fighting with your brain about feeling motivated or not feeling motivated, the shit is already done.
God.
So
Yep.
you get up and you do it. You take action. Again, action, right? Like the keyword. You take action and you're gonna get there. So
So, so what place does motivation serve? Because I know you said it's overrated. So what place does it have that motivation?
well, I think that this has been overrated by society, right? Like that is like, oh well, I'm feeling motivated. No, no. You go to work and you're not motivated to go to work. You are sick and you get up and you still take care of your child. So what
Mhm.
is the motivation on that? So I'm trying to help people understand that we are a lot of times we're using motivation as an excuse. That, oh, if I'm not motivated, I don't do it. No, no, no. You've done a lot of stuff that you were not motivated to do.
Right. Right.
So I'm trying to kind of like put motivation in its place, if you would. That is like it's kind of like, yeah, it's there, but a lot of time is used as an excuse to not go for your dreams,
Gotcha.
and is a lot of times is because we don't feel worthy
Mm.
of achieving our dreams.
Good point.
Like, who are you to be a therapist and start your master's degree at 50? You should be thinking about retiring at 50,
Right. Right.
right? So it's kind of like, no, you know what? It didn't matter. Like my classmates were half my age. I was the mom in the classroom, right? But it's like, you know what? They kept me young and I brought the wisdom, right? Because a lot of
Yes.
the things we
Yep.
were learning on the books, I had the life experience of it.
Sure.
But the thing is like, well, if I'm start thinking like, well, I'm 50, what am I doing? Like I had a lot of pushback from my high school friends
Yep.
that we are about the same age, and we're like, "You're crazy! Like, what are you doing? Like, you're already old." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna be 50 if I start the degree, or with so I'm gonna be 50 with a degree or without a degree. The
Right.
time will pass anyway,
Right.
right?" And so it's like, okay, who cares how old you are?
That's right. Right. That's
Just
right.
go for it. So when we use that motivation thing, is I'm not motivated. Just tell me that you really that this potential dream is not as important to you.
Yeah.
Because
You might.
if it
Yeah.
was,
It's better saying that.
right? Because if it was, you will find a way, right?
That's right.
I did. So and there is, and I had a lot of unmotivation to exercise, for example, right? I hate to exercise, so I had to push myself. Oh my god, like I don't want to do. I'm not motivated. I get up and I do it. By the time, so I walk. I'm pushing myself to walk every day for 30 minutes. By the time that I'm looking for the motivation, I'm already done. Because if I sit here waiting to feel motivated to do the walk, it's
Right.
not going to happen. So I get it done, and then we're like, oh, well, shit, it's already done. And I still don't have the motivation. The motivation is nowhere to be found.
Not needed.
But I'm always motivated to read a book because that's something that I enjoy,
Yes.
right? So it's kind of like, okay, you know what, motivation, you stay there. I really, really don't need you in order to achieve my dreams and
Gotcha.
my goals, right?
Gotcha. No, it makes total sense, and I love how you framed motivation to what it truly is and what it can mean to us in our lives, and I think that's a great way of looking at that. Um, there will be times when we've got a goal that we're after, we're chasing something, we're really focused on getting this thing, and we don't get it, we don't achieve it. Many will call that failure. Um, some will look at it very differently and take that as an opportunity to that you've learned how not to do something or learn better ways of doing something. And so for me, I view that as just your perspective or mindset on how you view failure or what you think failure is. I wonder if you have any thoughts on that you could share.
I see that a failure is part of success. So when you are going for something and are not you're not achieving it, there may be a bigger reason that is pushing you to do something differently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not it's, so if you look back again, like if you look back at your own life, like all the things that didn't work out, kind of reroute you into a bigger success, if you would. But that would have never happened if this worked out, right? Like so, it's like okay, well maybe there is something that I'm not seeing in the bigger picture, but I trust the process that. To me, if something doesn't work out, I have the satisfaction that I try it.
Right.
And that's how I found out that it didn't work out. I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, what if?
Yeah.
No. I did it, and it didn't work out, and I will be disappointed. Like, I don't want this to sound like, oh yeah, no, I move forward. No, I'm disappointed because I really wanted this to work out. But I can use that as a stepping stone into my next project, or it will
Yes.
guide me in a different direction so that I can start doing something else that would have never happened if that would have worked out. So I love accounting, I love numbers, and I'm really good at them. But my passion wasn't there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to school, and then I'm going to be a therapist. But if social work and therapy doesn't work, I can always go back to accounting
Yes.
because nobody is taking that knowledge away from me, right? So we try something and it doesn't work out. We are always can go back to where we were.
Right.
So if you try a new job and it ends up not working out for you, you can go back to whatever you were doing prior to that. But if you don't try it, you're always going to be thinking like, oh, what will have happened? What is,
Yeah. What if?
right?
What if?
And so the fear is keeping us in our comfort zone. And when we step, so let's say our comfort zone is this big, right? Like, so when
Hmm.
we step out of the comfort zone doesn't just expand in this way, it expands exponentially.
Yes.
So I was horrified to start my bachelor's in a different language, in a different country, in a different culture when I graduated high school 25 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I never been to the university in the United States. And you know how I did it?
What
One
is it?
credit at a time,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Like one class at a time. How do you do a paper? One paragraph at a time.
That's right.
So by taking the risk, and again, I could have failed and not graduated, but I would have the satisfaction of say I tried that and it didn't work
That's
out
right.
for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
funny
I'm
because
not, it's not lingering in my brain like, oh, what if?
yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Well, it's interesting because if you really look at it, if you try something, so if you're audacious enough to try something and it doesn't work, well, there's one of two options. You're successful, which is what you wanted, or you're not successful. But if you're not successful, you've now learned how to do something better. You've now learned what not to do. There's other things that have come out of it that can help you for the next time, whenever you're ready to try again, or better yet, what you can tell someone else and help them on their own journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always say we're either happy or we are learning something.
Yeah.
But if you take a lesson out of that opportunity that didn't come through, then it's not a wasted opportunity.
Yes.
You learn something. And you can
True.
tell the next person, like, you know what, I tried this and this is what happened with
Yep.
me. So I will encourage you to do this instead, right? And yet that person has a choice, but we are sharing our experience, right? So
Mhm.
I don't tell people, especially if I have a client with breast cancer, I share my experience with my treatment, but I don't tell them what to do. I'm just providing what happened with me and my body, right? But it's like I'm not telling, this is between you and your doctor. But I am a very active participant of my medical team, right? Because this is, yes, they are the experts, but this is my body.
Sure. Yeah.
So we are a
Mm.
team. You know what I
Teams.
mean? Like, so it's like I can share my experience and you can use that. The really wise people use other people's experience to not make those mistakes,
Yeah. It's
right?
true.
But sometimes we had to do it our own way and learn our own way. That's
Yep.
fine. That's fine
Yep.
too.
Yep. Sometimes we want to do things on our own terms.
Right. And it's like, it's kind of like that child you have to, don't touch it, it's hot. Don't touch it, it's hot. Until they burn. Like, okay. Like, okay, touch it. That I guess, right? Like, because there is this thing that again, like if we are learning something, then there is not a wasted opportunity.
You got it. You got it. Um. So you again you got your education. You became a licensed, a certified therapist. What is your focus, or what do you focus on in particular in your practice?
Uh, I focus on anxiety, depression, and trauma.
Okay.
So those are the main things. And I work with adults. I used to work with children a long time ago, and I prefer working with adults because usually with the children, the problem is not the child, is the parents, right? Like I say, like, okay, well, I'm here is the homework for to do at home. Well, I don't have time. Well, what do you want me to do? 50 minutes with your child once a week when you have the child the rest of the time, right? Like, so my ideal client is a highly motivated adult who wants to get better. So we are going to
Mhm.
hit the ground running, right? I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm fine
Sure.
with that. But do you want to get better? Then we are going to, I don't have, life is too short. I don't have time to oh, you, okay, like we wait. No. Do you want to fucking get better? I'm your girl. And that's why I'm the swearing therapist. I kept it really clean. I'm very proud of myself. But I use a lot of cuss words because I like to keep it real. Like, do you want to get better? Then I am the therapist for you. I offer, and a lot of times, therapy is a lot of work. A lot of times you think that you are ready, but then you realize that you are not. And I'm fine with that. But
Yes.
I just don't want, like, I cannot want this for you more than
Yeah,
you do it for
you're absolutely
yourself,
correct.
right? Like,
Yep.
I cannot want you to get better more than you want to get better. So
Yep.
I offer a free consultation over the phone and to see what a good match. What are your goals for therapy and so on and
Yep.
so forth. And in that conversation, in those 15 minutes, shit and fuck is going to come out of my mouth. So if you have a problem with that, I'm not the therapist for you. Why with that? You know what I mean? Like,
I
just
do.
just tell me, and I will gladly provide you with referrals. I want you to feel comfortable. If you don't feel, if we don't click, if you don't feel comfortable with me, you're not gonna trust me, and you're not gonna open up.
Sure.
And if you don't open up, and there is no trust in there, I cannot help you because I can only help you with what you bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we don't connect, there is this thing I always say, like, you either love me or you cannot stand. There is no in between with me. I'm not sure. No, you either hate me or you love me, and I'm like, and I'm good with either
Sure.
one because
Sure.
it's not about me. I understand that, again, like, I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. The clients that I have, they love me because I'm direct and I cast,
Understood.
because that helps them feel comfortable that they can cast too. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be like, okay, I'm the therapist. And, no, I'm like, I talk to my clients like I'm talking to you.
Sure. I get
So
it.
you know what I mean? Like, life is too short. Like, do you want to get better? We're gonna start working immediately.
Well, I certainly do appreciate the idea of just keeping it as real as possible, Zulma. So I want to congratulate you on that as well. I just want to congratulate you on your personal journey. You've
Thank
taken your
you.
adversities, your challenges, you flipped them on its head, and now you're using those to help other people, which is such a fabulous thing. So I wanted to commend you on that as well. For listeners that wanted to connect with you directly and learn more about your work, where could we send them?
Uh, Thank you for the opportunity to promote my Instagram. Is the swearing therapist, of course, and I put videos about mental health and everyday struggles on my Instagram account, and then my website is dragonflytherapyservices.net. And I'm licensed in Nevada, so per regulations, the client needs to be in the state of Nevada in order for me to provide the services. But if anybody is listening and they are not in Nevada, they can still reach out to me. And if they have a question, I'm going to do my best to answer or provide the proper resources for
Gotcha.
them.
Got you. Well, I very much appreciate that. I'm going to make sure all the contact details are in the show notes below. Again, I have to congratulate you on your journey overcoming breast cancer and graduating, getting your degree at an advanced stage in life. I'm not going to say old. You're at an advanced age in life, and you went and got your education.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's much. Well, I'm not far from you. That's why I'm not calling you old because I'm not old either. But regardless of that, what you did was an incredible feat. So it is worthy of applaud and praise. And again, I want to just thank you for being a guest here on the Audacious Living podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Back we are here on the podcast. In our chat with Zulma, she shared her perspective on resilience, emphasizing that we all have 100% track record of overcoming our challenges. She advocated that for taking life one step at a time, highlighting that during difficult periods, breaking down tasks into manageable pieces can make a world of difference. Zulma almost also challenged the notion of waiting for motivation, instead encouraging listeners to take action, regardless how they feel. What I personally loved about this interview was Zulma's unfiltered authenticity. Her ability to share her story with humor and candor made our conversation not only enlightening, but also incredibly relatable. It's a reminder that vulnerability can be a source of strength, and we can always find ways to inspire others through our own journeys. If you want to learn more about Zulma and her work, be sure to connect with her directly. You can find her on her Instagram channel. Again, she's at The Swearing Therapist, and visit her website as well at dragonflytherapistservices.net. All of her contact details, of course, will be in the show notes below, so don't hesitate to reach out directly. Zulma also offers free consultation for anyone interested in her therapeutic services. It really is a good opportunity to see if her approach resonates with you, so be sure to take advantage of that. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Audacious Living Podcast. I hope you found inspiration and encouragement in Zulma's story, as well as her insights. If you enjoyed the conversation, please consider liking, following, or sharing this podcast with others. Your support helps us grow and reach even more listeners who are looking to live their best audacious lives. Until next time, remember to embrace your inner warrior and keep pushing forward. Until next time, stay safe, be kind, show love to one another, and be audacious.
You've been listening to the Audacious Living Podcast, hosted by Audley Stevenson. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be audacious.